welcome. Scarf season. Today's practice was actually something that I did pre-think on, and one of the things that you're going to need today is something that you can use as a prop block. It needs to be somewhat hard, so I wouldn't say a pillow for this one. Something with a bit of height. Doesn't need to look anything like this, but you do need to have an object close by that you can use. A couple of stacked books is usually a really good go-to that are roughly the same size. And we are going to use that for a couple of positions today. So if you want to pause this video and go grab that, you can. And moving forward from that, I just wanted to say to all of you that receive these videos that it means a lot to me that you have this one, desire to practice, and two, this faith and this trust in my classes. And I think in the aftermath of yesterday, this really juxtaposed feeling within ourselves of, hearing about the presidency being announced and this wave of a communal exhale, I think, this wave of relief for many of us. And then at the same time, the same day, right, this lockdown or the effects of a lockdown. If you're not in Vancouver, even more tightening of socialization and restriction, and the themes keep being similar for me as I look around. It's about, trying to, this idea of control, and I do think it's important to protect, the spread of this virus. But the control is being done in such an unusual way that there are certain parts of it that I do find sometimes contradict other parts of it. And so the way that I think that we can all learn to kind of come back to ourselves and out of all of the information that's going on in the world, which is, multi-layered this year. So many different issues, so many different really important discussions that have needed to happen. And a lot of them, I think, have been coming for a long time. And the fact that we as yogis are invested in our own ability to process what's happening in the bigger picture, but also to really be of service in some way. And maybe that's in service to your family. Maybe that's in service to yourself, and you're practicing for your mental health, which does have a big effect on the overall. But, hearing yesterday that the studios were closing down for a couple of weeks, it's a couple of weeks, even though, again, the theme is that we go with the flow this year. So we don't know what December looks like, January, and it's almost ironically forcing us more than ever to stay and remain present. And then also within a lot of the teachings of yoga, it's being able to be in the present regardless, right? With the word equanimity, regardless of your response to it. So being able to hold the experience, breathe into it, and allow it to change, because it will, right? It always is changing. It's changed. It's done nothing but change this year. And being in this situation, even if it is uncomfortable, with a deeper sense of knowing that one, you can get through it, and two, that it is not bigger than you, right? So this practice that we share, the reason that I record these videos for you, is to remind you of these deeper teachings, these bigger knowings that we have, and I think we can easily get lost in or distracted from what's happening in the outside world. And so I've felt in the past, 24 hours since hearing about lockdown, this really deep sense of appreciation and reverence for the practice, and also for each of you who is equally committed to being in your body, being embodied, right? Being in your body, being present, finding the compassion, finding the desire to commit to your best and your optimal ability to thrive through it all, whatever that feels like. And know too, and I say this a lot, but know too that it is okay to also not always be okay, right? So that is the purpose of practice. It's a tool that we use to bring ourselves back to that place. Doesn't mean it's a stagnant place. Doesn't mean we're always sitting there looking peaceful, eyes closed. But it's a tool that brings us back. And we're going to use this tool all winter, throughout the years, hopefully. But I did want to say thank you so much for trusting in me, and I feel and think about each of you because the numbers are growing. Our numbers are growing in this circle of people practicing, and it means so much to me to still feel this connection, even though it's through the waves of technology. So with that being said, we are going to start sitting with a little bit of breath work. If you're close to your mat, feel free to get, cushions, comfortable. Situate yourself as needed. And today we're going to work a couple of alternating nostril patterns with the sharp exhale. So what happens is you exhale, usually you do this downward action. And after a while, when you're doing downward actions, the shoulders round forward. So as much as you can, keeping the lift almost like a silver rod right through the center of your body, keeping the lift upwards as you practice your pranayama, but letting the outer body soften. Okay, so let's start just by centering, hands face down. Let your eyes close when you're ready. Take your first full breath. Feel all the feels as you start to settle inwards. Become aware of any kind of textures or patterns of thoughts. Any body parts asking to be noticed. Just observe it all. I often will kind of feel a tempo, a pulse. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's sluggish. I'm turning down the dial of noises, anything that's outside of your zone, turning down the senses. Till you're just left for a moment sitting here with your breath. And finding steadiness in your own company. Float your right hand towards your nose, and you're just going to simply take your thumb to the right nostril. Take a big breath up through the left side. And all the way down the left nostril. Sitting tall, softening the outer body. You're going to inhale again. And very slowly start steady exhales through the left side. Three, two, one. Inhale, release the thumb. Exhale out your mouth. Feel the shifting of energy and breath as you breathe in again. Floating your left hand towards your face, and you'll notice that that breath starts to kind of automatically breathe in as you start your exhales. Inhale up the right side. All good if you're a bit congested. Exhale, very normal this time of year. Just doing the best that you can. Breathe in to begin. 3, 2, 1. Release the left hand. Inhale. Out your mouth again. Notice the difference. If you do have a tissue close by, if you need one, feel free to grab and release and clear the nose. Good. Now we're going to cycle. Let's use that right hand. Almost imagine a circle behind closed eyes. So we're going to start with the left nostril as your thumb comes to the right side. Inhale up to left. Exhale up the right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Imagine tracing this circle with your eyes. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. One more. Inhale left. Exhale right. Releasing your right hand, breathe in. Out your mouth. Floating that left hand towards your face. Noticing if you've turned it all, just centering yourself, lift up through the spine. Thumb comes to the left nostril, inhale right. Index to the left side. Inhale up the right. Exhale up the left. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale left. One more round. Releasing your left hand down, breathe in. Out your mouth. Feeling the temperature, texture, and pace of your breath. And taking a moment to flick your eyes up behind the eyelids, exhale down, over to the left, to the right. Squeezing your eyes tightly closed, move your mouth around, pinch your face up. Yawn if it's there, swallow. And then slowly open your eyes, blink a few times. And let's take our block to the mat. So we will be moving for about 35-40 minutes. If you do need to at any time hold something for longer, especially if you have had shoulder issues anytime throughout your life, neck issues, sometimes even a funny sleep can change and affect how we're feeling. So please do stop and pause as needed. Otherwise, let's move. So you're gonna grab the block, come towards your mat, and start with it on the lowest height. Okay, so you're gonna start with it on the lowest height. Place your forehead on the block, knees and feet about hips distance, and then walk your elbows forward. Lay your forehead down and start to walk your knees a little further back. So the idea is to let your chest come down, your palms are pressing in, and you can feel this right underneath, this kind of armpit lengthening and opening down to the chest. You can untuck your feet if that feels okay. And having the head a little bit higher, I want you to actively push your armpits down towards the mat. Relax your belly. Completely let it go slack. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Good, moving your hands forward. You're gonna lift yourself up. Take your thumb and index fingers around the outside of the block. Bend your elbows down and draw your chin to your chest. So your elbows are bent, chin to the chest, and tuck your toes. You're gonna lift up slowly to a downward dog with the elbows bent. So you're gonna feel this widening across your upper back, chin to chest, and then as you inhale, look forward at your block. Stretch your chin forward to lengthen your throat. Exhale, chin to chest. So do this 3 times. Elbows hugging in a lot. Look forward. Exhale in. If you want more of a challenge, bend your elbows more. Good, really working those elbows to each other like magnets. Inhale and exhale. Good, inhale, look forward. You lift your heels high, lower your knees. And as we keep moving, notice anything that makes other parts of your body grip. For instance, your jaw, right? Anything that happens through your face. Forehead is also really common when you're focusing. You can take this block underneath your right hand, back in your tabletop position, untucked feet, and work the left arm open, and then bend the elbow 90 degrees. You let your head drop towards that bottom hand for a moment, and then keeping the arm straight, drop your chest down slightly, and see if you can lift that left elbow a little further. So common areas, you're just gonna common mistakes rather, is move the arm somewhere more comfortable, but really keep it in line with the bottom arm. So you can see I'm not kind of drawing it too close, I'm not trying it too far over. Big breath in, look over the left shoulder. And as you exhale, tuck that left arm underneath you, place your left ear to the mat, and then if you want a little bit more here, stretch your right leg back and keep turning over your right shoulder. So your right toes can act kind of like a kickstand as you spin your ribs open. Right hand is still glued to the mat, in the block, sorry. Good, big breath in. Exhale it out your mouth. Good. And then slowly draw your right knee back. Inhale, sweep that left arm up, bend the elbow, and exhale, place the left hand down. And switch sides so you can still see me. Left hand on the block, untuck toes, pull your ribs in. On the inhale, sweep that right arm up and open it into that 90 degrees. Okay, your bottom hand is spread nice and steadily, even pressure between the fingertips. So the palm is not the heaviest part of the hand, the fingertips are. Drop your head towards your left shoulder, and then drop your chest down, and then open up that top elbow a little further. Take a big breath in, out your mouth. You may even feel it down the side. One more breath, and then scoop the right arm underneath so your right ear comes down. Good, keep pushing into that left hand, and stretch your left leg back, toes tuck. So you're spinning as far over your left shoulder as you can. Breathing. Good, one more breath in. And out. Pushing into that left hand, drawing the left knee in. Sweep your right arm up, one big breath. And exhale the right hand down. Now you're still facing the same side. Same thing, right hand on the block. Fingers spread evenly. So you want to make sure that as we do this, we're going to be adding more pressure in the arm. Shoulder tightens when we dump pressure downwards. So that active pushing down to lift energy up the body. This time tucked toes. Reach the left arm up, bend the elbow, and stretch the right leg back, take the toes down. So now you've got more extension through the back of the leg. Reach up and exhale underneath. So you're not staying down here now. Inhale, reach up. Turn your gaze, exhale underneath. Whoop. Try 2 more. The smoother your breath is, the steadier you're going to feel. Last one. Good, reaching up, opening into that twist. You're going to take your left arm, behind your back. Drop your head down if it feels right. Look up and maybe float that right leg up. Not super easy. Okay, moving the right shoulder blade down your back again. It's easy to drop downwards. You want to be pulling up. Big breath in and out. Taking the right toes down. Sweep that left arm forward and down to the floor. Good. Take the right knee in. Place the block off to the side for a moment. Cat-cow, except reverse it. So inhale, round. Exhale, extend. Palms are flat. Inhale. Exhale. Hug everything up and in. Exhale, tailbone lengthens away from the crown of your head. And imagine your hands are almost like the paws of a cat. Right? So there's real kind of integrity, intelligence in all the points that are touching the earth. Exhale, you're feeling up through the arms. 2 more. Also really great to massage the shoulders in their sockets. Last one. Good, coming to a neutral spine, you can step to plank pose before we do the other side and lower down slowly. Good, Sphinx. Elbows come forward, palms face up for this one. Palms face up, trying to work the thumbs to the floor. Lift the chest. Pull the heart forward, take an inhale. Reach back through your big toes. Legs aren't super active here. The elbows are pressing down so much that your chest can move forward and up. Shoulders move back. If you want to close your eyes, it's very tempting to drop the head in, but we want to create more of a lift and more of an opening in the upper back. 2 more breaths. Try and get those thumbs to move closer to the floor. They're going to want to lift. Last one. Good, turn your palms face down. Lift your elbows up, maybe extend a little further into your back bend. Lower down 1 rib at a time. Slide back, child's pose. Good, exhale, round up to kneeling. Now the block comes underneath your left hand. I'm just going to turn around to make it easier to see. Toes stay tucked this time. Right arm reaches up. Good, keep the elbow again in line with the shoulder. Squeeze both shoulders down the back. Maybe the left leg extends. Big breath in. Exhale underneath. You can hover just above the mat, or you can lower all the way down, whatever feels steadier to you. Exhale. Push through those points of contact in the left hand, so you're not lazily dumping too much pressure into the wrist. Very sensitive area of the wrist. Last one. This time we're going to hold. So as you rotate open, pull your belly button up slightly. Maybe try floating your back leg up. Doesn't need to be perfect. The point is to draw connections through the body. 2 more breaths. Last one, kick out. Twist open. Exhale, right hand comes down. Knee comes in. Let's take the block off to one side. Come to fingertips and turn your fingertips around towards you. Move your shoulders down your back. Good. Inhale, round. Exhale, extend. Breathing through your nose. See how long you can make your breath. Hug your thighs in. Extend out from the center. Squeeze your shoulders down your back when you take your chest through. Exhale. 3 more. Good. Coming to a neutral spine, you can try taking fists. So also, shoulders have a lot to do with what's happening in the hands. You're going to press your knuckles down, move your shoulders away from your neck. Good. And hover your knees just slightly off the mat. So arm bones hug in, look forward slightly, breathe for 3. Belly to spine. Shoulders down your back. 2. Strengthening. Last one. Lower your knees down, untuck your feet, sit back, interlace your fingers, and just start to rotate. Good. Drop your head over to your right shoulder. You can go slower. I like sometimes to add a little spice. Reverse the rotation in your wrist. Big breath in. Lift your head to center. Try to keep your spine right in the middle and drop your head to your left shoulder. As you do this, press your right shoulder blade down. 2 more big breaths. Maybe you pause somewhere, you feel a click or a creak in one or the other wrist. Last breath. Good, draw your head back to center. You're going to press your palms forward, round. Exhale, draw the hands back to your chest. So hands on the chest. Inhale, round. Exhale, hands come in, squeeze the shoulders on the back. You can be sitting on a block too if this doesn't work for your knees or your ankles. Exhale. Then a little faster. Last two. This time you're going to press your palms forward. Good. Slowly draw yourself up to your knees. Tuck your toes under. Take a big breath in. Lift your heart up. And exhale your hands around behind you. You're going to take your thumbs together so your palms are like butterfly hands on either sides of your sacrum. Good. At the back of your mat, whichever way you want to face, you're going to inhale, step your right foot forward. And slowly straighten the leg and step right back to kneeling. Okay, look forward in front of you, left foot. And exhale, step back, nice and slow. So keep your chest as steady as you can. Gaze is in the same spot. You can step back. You don't even need to sit all the way down if your knees are creaky. You can simply step into your lunge and then maybe come back to kneeling. If you can, lower down though. One more each side. Working your balance. This time as we step the right leg forward. Right leg quick steps forward. You're going to take your elbow onto your thigh, turn over your left shoulder and wrap your left arm around behind you. So I like to personally grab a piece of my clothing to help me rotate. My back toes are tucked and I'm turning. My pelvis can turn with me, but my front knee isn't doing anything wonky. It's facing straight forward. And I'm pivoting. You're going to take a full breath in and out. Sweep the left arm up, forward as far as you can. Good. Inhale, reach that left arm up and around behind your back. You're going to do that 2 more times. Forward. You can drop your chest down and around behind your back. 1 more time. As you stretch your left arm up, you're going to plant that hand into a fist. Okay, the fist is going to be facing the outside of the knuckles are facing the edge of the mat. You're going to push down into your right thigh, lift up, and reach your right arm up. Okay, in your twist, your head can drop down, getting more into your back. You can sweep your right arm behind you. You want to be making sure you're lifting that left hip though, sinking into your front knee, breathing for 3. Move your shoulders down, your back off your neck for 2. Keep lifting that back thigh for 1. Sweeping the right arm up, forward and down to the floor. Take the left hand into fingertips. Step back, lower your knees right away. So your fingertips are pushing down, you're wrapping your armpits to the mat. Keep your toes and knees down. Inhale forward. You might start to lift your chest. Exhale, round back. Your forehead can touch down. Inhale forward. You want to lift your chest. Move the shoulders to the back of the sockets. Exhale, wrap back to child's pose. Now smooth it out. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. A lot of pressure in the toes the whole time. Exhale. 1 more. Dragging the fingertips back towards you. Good. Interlace the hands, press the palms forward and up. Come to stand on your knees and look forward, stepping your left foot. Good. So now your elbow's on that left thigh. Your right arm's going to reach up and around behind your back. Okay, you can take that hand if you'd like all the way to wrap. Good. Big breath in. Relax your shoulders down. Keep the front knee facing forward. You can turn slightly so you feel the front of this right psoas. And then begin your sweeping arms. Forward and exhale down. Inhale up. And around behind your back. Inhale, so you're really feeling the whole rotation of mobility in that shoulder. You can go slower. You don't need to wrap behind the back if you've got limitations or kind of old or achy pains in that shoulder. Just listening to what feels right. 1 more time. already. You're gonna feel this also in your arms. You're gonna take your right hand forward, create that fist again. The back of your hand is facing the outside of the mat, shoulder down your back. You're gonna push down, lift your back knee, sweep that left arm up. You can either stay here and just work that right hip up, or wrap your left arm around behind you. Breathe for 3. Okay, a lot of work to kind of lift that right hip, press your heart forward. 2. Last 1. Sweep that left arm up, take the hand outside that left foot, fingertips, fingertips, step back, this time in downward facing dog on your fingertips. Armpits are gonna wrap to the floor. Pull your low ribs in, tuck your chin into your chest and gaze up towards your belly button. Breathe for 3. 2. 1. Inhale onto your tiptoes. Roll over your toes. Come down to a kneeling position. And again, you're on the top of your feet, but you can also be on a block if this doesn't work for your knees. Okay, you're gonna stay facing the same direction. I'm just gonna spin this way because there's more room. Right arm's gonna reach up, palm facing into the midline. You're gonna bend your elbow nice and slow, pull your ribs in, catch the elbow in your left hand, and then start your cat-cow. So inhale, lift, exhale, round. Inhale, exhale. You're actively trying to pull that left hand to the left side of your body, and the elbow's pressing out to the right side, so you feel some real responsiveness in upper body. Your shoulders are activated. You're gonna do 2 more. You can make this bigger. Next time you come up through your spine, push into the top of the feet, wave yourself onto your knees. Good. Then step that left foot forward. Okay, back toes are tucked. Right arm is up, elbow up. Left arm's pulling the elbow to the left. Good, you're gonna lift your back knee slowly and slowly lower. So to do this fast, you might not catch what has to work in order for the whole thing to find the balance needed. Right, so you have to pull in a lot to the midline, inner thighs to each other. 1 more time. Good, lift your back knee. You can free your arms, cactus them on either side of you, sink into your front thigh, breathe in. Elbows come out in front of you. Tuck your tailbone. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, out in front of you. Now try not to drop your elbows, so shoulder height. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Last one. You feeling probably a lot in your back leg, because I am. Good, inhale, open. Lean forward halfway. That fist, right back of the right hand is facing the outside of the mat. Reach the left arm up and start to straighten the front leg. Again, the work is to really lift the right hip, square the pelvis as you rotate your twist. Option to wrap that top arm behind you. Listen to your neck. Option to drop your head down. Keep working the front leg straight. Left hip back, heart comes forward. Breathe for another 2 breaths. Releasing that right hip, sweep the left arm up, forward, 10 to fingers outside the left foot, and try to pick up your toes. So I'm extending my spine strongly. I'm hugging my hips into the right side. Big breath in. Let's hop our back foot forward and turn it on an angle. So your right foot is on an angle. You're lifting the left foot, and if you want, grab your left toes and keep extending your chest forward. A lot of work. This is where your block comes in handy as well. If you need more height and you know you're really kind of sticky in your hamstrings, anything that's going to offer you the option to find more steadiness in your pose, feel free to grab it around you. Take 2 more breaths. Good, last one. Release those left toes down. Lock to the outside of the mat. Good. Fingertips to the earth. Step into that left leg. Kick your right leg out, L shape. Pull your heart forward. Big breath in. Exhale, right knee into nose. 2 more times. Really focus on this left leg staying straight. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This time, kick the right leg back. Step onto your toes again. Pivot your both feet to the left side of the mat. Keep your right hand down, left hand to your waist. Now you're completely pivoting your inner thighs. Lean your chest back. Big breath in. And out. Your block can still be underneath your bottom hand. One more breath. Look down to the earth. Spin your feet face forward. Slide your right leg back and drop your knee down. Okay, we've already been here. Both arms are going to sweep up. And exhale around behind you. Good. Breathe in. And just keep moving the elbows towards each other as the knuckles drop down. So it's different from lifting them up. Just drop the knuckles down. Breathe into your lunge for 3. Exhale, belly to spine. Last one. Sweep your arms up, lift your gaze. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back, plank pose. You can either move down to the tummy or upward facing, your choice. Downward facing dog. Stay in downward dog for 3 breaths. You can again go for that extra little oomph, bending elbows in, down, wrapping armpits to the floor, chin to chest, really working the legs straight. Exhale out your mouth. Let's roll forward to our plank pose. Lift your gaze. Exhale up and back. Nice and slow forward to your plank pose. Lift your gaze. Exhale up and back. I'm loving these lately just because it really pulls this whole symmetry through the body. Everything has to work and then shift the focus somewhere else. One more time. Good. Inhale high onto your toes. Roll over your feet and lay your knees down. Touching, sitting back on the tips of your heels. Okay, big breath in. A little scrunch in the nose if you need it. Roll the shoulders up. Back and down. Left arm reaches up. Palm faces the midline. Pull your ribs in. Bend that left elbow and do it slow enough that you really feel where in the arm or shoulder is tight. Right hand comes to the elbows, you breathe in and pull those shoulders down your back. You're sitting on a block if your knees are giving you any grief. Inhale, lift and offer your heart. Exhale, round. Use your breath like a massage, an internal massage, so feeling out how far the movement wants to go. And you're drawing that left elbow towards the middle of your back with your right hand, and at the same time your elbow is pressing out. Two more. And this time you're going to wave up onto your knees. Your right foot is stepping forward. Your back toes tuck. Good. You can take a big breath in. Exhale it out your mouth. Find your gaze. Inhale, lift that back knee slowly. Exhale. Hugging your hips to center. Exhale. Try to notice any gripping in your chest or face. See if you can just fill the movement with breath and hold your gaze steady. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Pull your right hip back, left hip forward as you straighten the back leg. Open your elbows wide. Sink into the lunge. Inhale here. You're going to lean forward halfway. Start to straighten that right leg. Taking that left hand into a fist. So as you open up into your twist, you can reach the arm up or wrap it behind your back. Whichever variation you're working, you really want to push your heart forward, square your pelvis, and breathe for 3. Draw the back heel forward. Last one. Sweeping the right arm up. Forward down to the floor onto fingertips. You can hop the back foot in if you need to or have a block underneath the left hand. You're going to pick up your right foot. Take your hand from underneath and press your heart forward. Good. Draw your back heel forward, press your tailbone back and up, press your heart forward. Lots of energy at the back of the legs, flooding the sensation with breath. Good, last one. Inhale, lift your gaze as high as you can. Lower the right foot down. You're going to step into that right leg, lift your gaze up, square your pelvis, kick back through your heel, and then exhale, curl in and up. 3 times. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, swim your heart forward and up. Exhale, pull your belly to the ceiling. Last one. You're going to step back on those left toes. Good. Pivot and turn both feet to the right side of the mat. This gets a little crunchy in the inner thighs. Fingertips, flat palm, block, whatever you need to do. Reach your right arm up. Push your shoulders down your back. Press your hips back. Lots of integrity in your spine. Try not to get into this shape. Press your heart forward. Press those hips back. Breathe in. Shoulders move down away from the neck. Last one. Look down. Take the right hand down. Spin your feet face forward and slide your left knee back. Almost there. Peel yourself up. Take your hands around behind you. Palms close to the lower back. Good. Switching it up often keeps us also really present. So I know a lot of people, when we start a practice, we get a little more in tune with flows and sequences. It's easy to rush, right? And you want to prevent yourself from getting ahead of where you actually are. Elbows squeeze in. Press the left hip forward. Lift the heart. Maybe even let your gaze lift. 2 more breaths. Last one. From your back foot, pour your heart forward. Place your palms flat. Inhale, try and push your heart forward as you step back and move through your vinyasa. Okay, we're getting somewhere. 3 breaths. Close your eyes. You can again add the bend in the elbow, the ribs drawing in. Feeling this all the way through the inner armpit, side of the ribs. Let your head hang. Teeth, tongue relaxed. Big breath in. Exhale at your mouth. Lift your heels high. Roll over your feet. You're going to lay your shins down. Now this might be accessible for some of us, it might not be. So I'm going to show you what it looks like and then you can decide. The right leg is going to come back like we started with the class. You're going to lift that leg, cross it behind the left leg. Widen your feet. Now very careful if you do have knee issues. You're not going to roll back if you have knee issues. You're going to come out and cross your legs. You're going to drop your seat in between the feet. Okay? Again, I just said, please don't do that movement. If you have knee issues, you don't want to pop anything, you can bump yourself onto a little bit of height if you'd like. Or if your knees are okay with that, you can just sit right in between the heels. I like to take my left hand on my thigh, right hand on my thigh, and nudge the knees a little closer. Okay, so you've got your left leg on top. Reach your arms up. Let that right elbow bend again. Catch it in your left hand. First option. Pressing your knees forward. Try not to let your back bend happen. Knees forward. Left arm is going to come around behind your back. And bind the hands. So I wish I could zoom in here. What I want you to focus on is dropping your right shoulder blade. Bringing your ribs in. And lifting the breath up the left side of your body. Close your eyes for a moment and try that. Inhale up the left side of your body. Exhale, draw the right shoulder blade down. Soften the creases of your hips as you breathe in. Press your left shoulder back slightly if you can. Soften the face. Let's take 3 more breaths here in silence. Good, and taking your last full inhale, sticking your tongue out, releasing the left arm first. That's probably going to be the yuckier one. and right arm. You're going to take the top leg, your left leg, lift it up and place the foot flat. You're going to move the right knee out to the side, and we're binding, okay? So if your shoulder again has issues, left arm just comes around the front of the left shin, right hand behind you, okay? If you don't have shoulders issues, sweep the left elbow in front, around that left thigh. Right hand's going to reach behind if you can grasp fingers, or reach for the left wrist. You're going to push down with the left foot, lift your chest, and turn over your right shoulder. It doesn't matter if you get the bind, you can also use a strap or the belt of a bathrobe if you want to help yourself bind the shoulders. Lift your gaze and turn. Breathe for 3, 2, sitting as tall as you can. Last 1. Good, releasing your bind. Here's where it gets a little funky. Press down through that left leg, take your fingertips to the floor, lift onto your left foot. Right leg is extended strongly. Square your pelvis and play. If you want to just come onto your toes and build some strength, if you want to try a few hops. Okay, the right leg is your kicker leg. Little few hops, inhale, kick. Don't overthink it. Spread your toes. Last 1. Good, step your right foot down. Wave up 5 times. Exhale out your mouth. Wave up. Out your mouth. Feel your shoulders. Feel the warmth down your arms. Exhale out your mouth. 2 more. Fluttering the lips is fantastic after you've tried something a little more challenging. Good, lift up and lengthen halfway. Walk to your plank pose. Lean forward, push your shoulders down your back. Exhale, half or all the way. Vinyasa of your choice. Downward facing dog. Close your eyes. Come back to basics. If you want to add the bend of the elbows. Pulling into the ribs. Slow your heart rate down. Steady your breath. 1 more inhale here. Tongue out. Lift your heels. Roll over your feet. Lay your knees down. You're coming into that kneeling position. This time it's the left leg that's extending back behind you. So first just feel the length. You're going to cross the leg over to the right. Open up that right foot to the left. So there's almost this twist tie action. There's space for you to, again, if your knees are safe, roll yourself back. Okay, if they're not, please just cross your legs with the right leg on top. Blocks are there, or pillow is great if you want some support underneath your seat. Otherwise, right hand to your thigh, left hand to your thigh. Wiggle your knees a little closer. Often I will shift my hips from side to side. Tuck your thong in if it's coming out. Okay, stretch both arms up. Find your gaze, left elbow bends. Take a big breath in. Exhale out your mouth. Keep leaning into your right sit bone. Maybe adding the full bind. Right arm sweeps behind back. You can clasp your fingers. You can reach and grab the back of your shirt. Your knees press forward. Your belly button pulls in. You try to imagine you're leaning back against a really tall chair or the wall behind you. Big breath in. Plug the left shoulder down. Ribs to your lower back. Good. So inhale up. Right side. Exhale, anchor down through the left shoulder. Just feed the breath around what you're feeling. Relax behind your face. 3 more breaths. Sometimes it'll feel very intense all of a sudden. Heat is another good indicator that movement is happening. Energy is flowing. Release that left arm and the right arm carefully. I always like to really feel even slower through these deeper ones. Your right foot is coming flat against the mat. You're going to widen your left knee. So again, the first version of the twist is to just wrap your right arm in front and turn over your left shoulder. Okay? If you have any shoulder issues, please don't bind. Right arm's coming down, around in front. You're going to reach behind, and the left hand is reaching for now the right wrist. You're going to push down, and instead of folding forward, you're going to lift your chest up, turn over your left shoulder, and again, yield that left leg, also pressing down to create more lift through your spine. So we're all built differently. Don't move past a point that feels safe or that you're able to breathe in. Try closing your eyes and feeling into this spine. 3 breaths. Last one. Binds show us how we can be as present and available even when we are feeling restricted. Symbolic, right? Look forward, come out nice and slow. Again, feeling the energy flood back to the fingertips. So you can take your hands forward, and again, the left leg is going to extend up. Okay, you can always just play with strengthening the body, moving the shoulders up your back, squaring your pelvis, working into alignment that's kind of difficult. Lifting onto your right toes, or flatten your palms into your shoulders. Left leg is now the kicker. If you are new to jumping, on your inhale, I like to tuck my bottom leg. So inhale, little tuck, little tuck. Try 4 or 5. Little tuck, make sure you're breathing. Doesn't need to be perfect. Step your feet underneath your hips. What is nice though, widen your heels, is that you've given yourself the opportunity to try. No bueno if we don't try, right? Swim your elbows back and forth. Good, come to center, shake it out. 2 more breaths here. Release your fingertips down, wave up halfway, set your hands, step back to plank pose, draw your chest down, forward, lift your ribs and lift your hips, big breath in, move halfway or all the way down, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. So you should be feeling quite open in your shoulders. So I'm going to show us a variation, and then we're going to cool right down. As you inhale, lift your gaze, hop right onto your seat. And this needs to be accessible for your shoulders, so please don't go into this. If your shoulders do have issues, you can take a softer version of it. As you roll onto your back, you're going to bend your knees, place your feet flat, roll to your right, and slide your left arm up between your shoulder blades. Very weird, isn't it? Okay, you're going to walk your feet in. Let your head start to drop towards the right, and let your knees drop to the left. Your hand, alternatively, I just thought of this, if your shoulder doesn't like that, can be across your back. So a little further down with the hand, pretty much so my hand's on my low hip. But if you can, right, roll to the right hip, work your left hand up your shoulder, in between the shoulders rather. Turn your head to the right, knees to the left. You can place that right hand somewhere on your hip or open your right arm up, and you're going to breathe here. Come back to your breath. Come back to releasing effort, finding where the tension sits. 3 more breaths. You turn your head slowly to center. Draw your knees back up to face the ceiling. Roll back to that right hip. Release your left arm carefully. You'll feel a difference. Take a breath on your back. Exhale it out your mouth. And as you roll now to your left hip and draw your right arm behind you, you can again place that right hand on the back of your left hip or start to work your right hand up between the shoulder blades. Now you might feel very different from the right to left. In fact, it's almost undeniably going to be the case. Head turns to the left and widen your knees as they drop open to the right. So this left hand can be in a few places. It can be open. It can be on the hip, kind of encouraging the legs to relax. You really want to turn your head as far away from that right elbow as you can, and then just breathe. Relax that right shoulder. You might also feel some pressure in the wrist joint, and know that when we place pressure, as long as it's not painful, into some of these more delicate areas, it's actually healthy to flood that joint with fresh circulation, fresh blood basically. But know that we're always differentiating between what feels sensation we can handle and never forcing that to a place that feels painful. Last two. Force is not part of our practice. Beautiful. I'll turn your head back first to face the ceiling. Slowly draw your knees back to center. Roll to that left hip and release your right arm. And then if you'd like, open the arms up and just let your knees drift from side to side. So we've got two more poses and then we feel complete. So the first one is an inversion. If you are on your period and you cycle, I suggest skipping it and just taking legs up the wall. And I will show you at the end of class a great way to kind of add a little bit of oomph with legs up the wall. We'll finish there today. Otherwise, you're going to make sure that you halfway in the center of your mat, so you've got plenty of room. Your head's not going to end up on the floor. Any hairdos are coming out. Going into plow pose, so not shoulder stand, plow pose. A little bit different, but still setting up the same way. Shoulders down the back, chest stays open, hands to the mat, knees draw in. Big breath, lift the knees up and over on the exhale. Good, if your feet don't touch down, feel free to have your hands on your back and just walk your elbows closer. So that variation is still going to open your back, breathing across your chest. You're not turning your head when you're upside down. If your toes can touch the mat, you're doing the same thing. You're walking your elbows and shoulders in, going to interlace your fingers. You're going to press your knuckles forward. Roll your shoulders under. Whether they get to the mat or not important. Then you're going to walk your toes under and press your hips out. So a lot of opening for the shoulders. If this is too much, bend your knees, just work the arms. Right, otherwise press your thighs to the ceiling, lift your butt, and take 7 breaths. You'll feel after a few breaths that the intensity does build. Just stay present with it. Three more. Last one. Bending your elbows, releasing your hands, taking the edges of your mat or palms face down. Take a few breaths with your knees bent to slowly breathe your way onto your back. And I always like to try and make that smooth. Very difficult when you're talking and practicing. Make that as smooth as you can and no need to rush. And just give your knees a squeeze in. We're going to finish with our fish pose. Now, a couple of things. If you do have a block, I'm going to offer the restorative version of a fish pose. You're going to take that block, You're gonna rock yourself up. You're gonna place it to the lowest height, right in between your shoulder blades. This is really nice, especially if you do find you're working a lot on computers, because naturally most of us are rounding forward to use them. So this opening in your chest as you draw your shoulder blades on either sides of the block and lengthen your neck back so your head is facing your gaze upward. If your neck is not open enough for that, you want to draw something underneath the head, maybe a pillow or a blanket. Okay, naturally my feet want to come in to butterfly here. And I could easily be here for a few minutes. Now, if that's not the case and something doesn't feel right, try and find a modification. Maybe it's adding some support for the head or straightening the legs. Find the variation that serves you. Okay, first version is supported. Second version is traditional fish pose. Hands come together underneath you, thumbs are touching. Okay, extend the legs fully. Press the heels together. On the inhale, walk your elbows in. Exhale, lift to the crown of your head. Press your heels forward. Inhale, lift. If your neck does not like this, just lower your head back down to the ground. Let's breathe open across the chest. Take 3 to 6 breaths here. Last one. And slowly lower your head down. Sliding your head back carefully, protecting your neck. You're there in Shavasana, ready to receive. But if you feel like you'd like to let your legs be at the wall and bring some circulation back to your heart, you're gonna just inch your butt over so that the hip is against the wall. Swing your legs up. Anchor your hips right against the wall as best you can. Place a block, a pillow against your feet. Let your heels rest against the wall. Lift your chest. Open your arms wide. And you're there. Nice full breath wherever you are. Let it up and out. And let go. staying in the space you've created for as long as you need. And when you feel complete, guide your thumbs to your forehead. Trust the path and the practice you're on. Honor all of your efforts. If your legs are up the wall, you're going to slowly slide the block down, roll off to your one side, and find your way to a seat. With the integrity of space across the chest, we want to be aware that when we walk forward with a sense of openness, we are not only allowing ourselves to be who we truly are, we're meeting the world exactly where it is. There are less layers protecting us from feeling and more opportunity to receive. Trust that there is so much more to still receive out there. Silently honor all of your efforts in prioritizing your practice. Bow your head when ready to your thumbs. Namaste. Stay bright. Hope you enjoyed that one.